Bro, my Wi-Fi tripping me up. Should pause. Look. Chat. I don't know what to do. It's paused. Maybe I will. I don't know. I literally don't know. Okay, because it's paused, I'm gonna play you guys unreleased song until it unpauses by BK.
I just got back to my feet, Frankenstein vibes. I look half dead from all this work.
Alright, I'm gonna play the rest of the song. At the end of the video, I'll finish the song. Anyway, we're watching the biggest video for any unemployed nigger. Sorry, wigger. I said wigger because it's white people. The white boy beef, Nettspend versus Matt Ox. I like Nettspend's music. I like Matt Ox's music. I'm not involved in their beef. I think both of them are really good artists and would get along well together if they made a good song. But they don't like each other, so let's see why.
Hey, what's up everybody? We are back again, and I know I've been talking about some pretty serious topics on the channel lately, back to back, so I thought for today it'd be a good idea to do something a little bit lighter once again talk about another underground beef. Because we've had the trans beef, we've had the trans beef too, but now we got the white boy beef. Yeah, that's right. The white boys of the underground are finally having a civil war and tearing apart the underground as we know it. Okay, but for real, it's actually not that serious. It's primarily two different rappers who are going back and forth. One going by the name of Nettspend, who a lot of you are probably aware of and probably have pretty mixed opinions on, and the other goes by the name of Matt Ox. Now, for those of you who weren't around for the Matt Ox come up, honestly, you didn't miss much. He kind of had two big moments where he got a lot of attention, and his primary gimmick was being a very young rapper, being like 12 years old when he started to blow up, and being halfway competent. He kind of combined two different trends of the young rapper, which we really started to see with people like Lil Pump. I mean, there's been young rappers forever. I know people are going to say, you forgot this one guy who was 14 years old rapping in the 90s, but I'm talking about the SoundCloud era and then everything post that. Lil Pump came out at 16.
Is this my laptop? I mean, not my laptop, sorry, my PC having this video in extremely low quality, or is, yeah, holy crap. I was thinking, bro, am I watching porn or something? Why is everything censored, bro? Moving like Japanese porn.
Years old, flexing guns, taking drugs, rapping about the most ignorant bullshit ever, and of course that would get a lot of older women to be like, oh my god, what is going on with the world? The youth is completely fucked. And then after that, a bunch of other rappers would copy that trend. We would get people like Lil Tay, who was more of an Instagram personality than an actual rapper. I do believe she put out one song back in the day, but nobody was actually seriously listening to Lil Tay. And then we got people like Mosey and Tekka, but that was a little bit later on. But first, before we got them, we had Matt Ox and his song Overwhelming, which was produced by Oogie Mane of Working on Dying. Working on Dying is one of the most well-known and legendary underground production companies, and even mainstream at this point. They started off working with people like Chapo, who you may or may not have heard of, as well as people like Lil Tracy, eventually upgraded to Lil Uzi Vert,
Lil Tracy,
and now they've even produced for Drake. So for them to suddenly take interest in this 12-year-old kid definitely turned a lot of heads. A lot of people wondered why he was so special, why exactly they were putting so much work behind him, and it most likely comes down to the fact that they're from Philly and he is as well. People would argue at the time that he was an industry plant, but I really don't think that's the case whatsoever. He was just a kid who started rapping very young because he had a pretty fucked up home life. His dad passed away when he was young, and his mom was also very young when she had him, so he kind of had to grow up quicker than everybody else and wanted to make enough money to take care of her. And then Working on Dying most likely discovered him through SoundCloud. They knew that the whole young rapper gimmick was working, so they decided to take him under their wing and make a couple songs with him. And after they ended up putting out the...
Gotta give them respect though, man, because you know what, like, I don't know if that's an American thing, but here it's like no one wants to help each other. You know, he's saying that they're from Philly, so they had each other's back. I'm telling you, niggas from London, bro, literally want to stab each other in each other's backs, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm not gonna take someone in just because they're from London, bro, because that nigga gonna try to stab me, and if you try to stab me, I'm gonna shoot him, bro. But no one wants to help each other. Maybe you guys in America, in Philly, maybe you guys are a bit more connected, man. We've lost that around here, bro, you know? If you're not from the same ends, I'm talking about the same postcode, you don't fuck with each other, bro, and that's a fact.
music video for Overwhelming, where he was seen at a gas station with a bunch of other kids all flexing fidget spinners, which was a really big thing in
Other kids, bro. He was with it. Jeez.
2017. So of course that only got more people to pay attention, and considering the song is actually pretty decent for a 12-year-old, people would really start to tap in. It would get a bunch of reaction videos, which is really one of the most underrated ways that artists would blow up back in the day. They would make a music video where they looked crazy or had some sort of gimmick that got people to pay attention. People would then react to the video because it was popular to do. It became a trend, and then everybody knew about them. But of course, when you have that type of gimmick, it's kind of hard to carry it into an entire career. I mean, it does turn heads, but once the initial shock value's gone, people don't really stick around because they kind of already know what you're doing, and you know, it's not surprising anymore. But it's not like they weren't trying to push him. They would go on to get him features with other prominent SoundCloud rappers like Little Tracy, and there's even videos of him and Little Peep together. He's made music with Chapo, who at the time was pretty big. Shout out to Chapo, by the way. If you've never listened to his music before, you definitely need to give it a try because he's so versatile and makes so many different types of songs that there's
never heard of Chapo before. Never.
Bound to be one out there that you like. It's not promo or anything like that. I just genuinely like his music and feel like more people need to be on it because he is an OG from the SoundCloud scene that people don't talk about as much. But anyways, point being is that by the time that he put the album out, people weren't really interested anymore. I mean, you can't really carry an entire project based off of one gimmick, and there's going to be a very small audience of people who are genuinely going to want to listen to a 12-year-old rap on like 10 different songs. It's kind of a similar situation to the whole YBN Cordae thing, where he was a talented rapper when it came to the SoundCloud era, and Matt Ox is a talented rapper when it comes to being a kid. But when you put these two in the actual...
You're talented for being a kid. Actually, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. It kind of. You know, it depends. Talented for... Can someone be talented for being a kid? I guess so. I guess so.
Big leagues and make them compete against genuinely extremely talented people, they can't really compete. And after this point, you would think that Maddox would fall into complete irrelevancy, with people looking back on his one moment very fondly and bringing it up from time to time,
but then X came along.
But his future career wouldn't really go anywhere. Well, that was until he ended up getting discovered by XXXTentacion. Because during the last couple of months of
guys, comment RIP X, man. RIP.
X's life, he really seemed to take a liking to kids. Okay, not in that
Did you guys just hear what he said?
Type of way. More so like he saw troubled kids.
Oh, no.
In the industry like Little Tay and Matt Ox, and wanted to help them out because, well, either he was doing it to make himself look good or he genuinely felt bad because of course he had a very abusive childhood and probably wanted to help these kids out as well, especially with all the clout and attention that they were getting, which was probably fucking with their head at a young age. And the reason that him and Matt got connected is because Matt would end up making this song called $$$$$. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm not sure if anybody knows the true name of the song, but either...
I gotta give X credit, bro. He was the only one that could just name a song some absolute bullshit, bro. Did you get it?
Way he would end up premiering it as a snippet on his live, and X liked the song so much that he would actually hit up Matt and ask if he could buy it and put it on his next album.
Wow.
At this point, X was already a massive...
That's the whole point of promoting the music. You never know who's gonna see it, bro.
Artist, and while he definitely was hated by a good chunk of the industry and blackballed in several different ways, his music always streamed really well. So for Matt to get on his next album, and unfortunately the final one that he would put out when he was alive, was a huge deal, and he would actually end up getting a platinum record off of it. And that would kind of turn Matt Ox's 15 minutes of fame into a 30 minutes of fame, I guess you could say. But then after all the hype of that started to die down, once again people would start to forget about him and the world kind of moved on. Now keep in mind, Matt Ox was born around 2004, meaning by the time that he started to fall off in 2018, he was about 14 years old, which was really around the time that the entire...
Wait, 2004? Oh, wait, Max is older than me? Matt Ox is older than me. I thought I was older than him. Fair enough. Fair enough.
SoundCloud way.
Look at Lil Peep. What is this video? Any context? behind this picture on my screen right now.
We've started to fall off. Some people argue that it really died when X passed away, but I would say when Tekashi got locked up was really the final moment for it. It remained on life support throughout 2019, but when Juice WRLD ended up passing away, that was really the final nail in the coffin. And considering the fact that much more talented and beloved artists would start to fall off around the 2020 era, it was only a matter of time before Matt would meet a similar fate. But luckily for him, being so young, only 14, 15 years old when all of that went down, he could then pivot and be part of the newer generation. Because most of the new kids that you see blowing up right now were born between 2000.
That's Xavier, I swear. Xavier's so based. I actually listened to maybe 2 of his songs in my whole life. But that is him. That is him.
In 2008, they're really the people who grew up on SoundCloud listening to it, but Maddox was actually part of that wave and now could take that into his future career. And surprisingly, he actually did have a pretty solid fan base behind him that was waiting for his voice to mature and his music to start to evolve. And right around 2021, 2022, we would start to get more experimental stuff from him, meaning that he started to make rage music like everybody else.
But bro, like, Maddox is good. Like, you might be saying he's doing rage like everybody else, but Maddox makes good fucking music. I'm gonna defend him here. Like, I can sit here, scroll through his channel, he's consistent, press any song that he's made in the past 4 or 5 years, and it's gonna slap, I swear.
Some people definitely would clown him for hopping on the wave, saying that he switched up on his old style and was trying to do whatever would get him popular again. But I feel like this transition felt a lot more natural than most of these guys. I mean, you can't tell me that Lil Narg genuinely wanted to make rage music because he was interested in that style and felt very musically fulfilled by it. He was doing it to chase a trend, and even if Matt Ox was doing the same, he was in the same age group, so I feel like it wasn't all that corny. However, this wouldn't really put him back in the limelight the way that he probably wanted, and as the years went on, more and more artists would blow up out of this wave, with some looking very similar to him. And right around 2023, we would get introduced to the modern Lil Pump of the new era, going by the name of Nettspend. Okay, maybe that's not fair. I think
BA Grim Reaper.
Too Slimy is a lot more similar to
Too Slimy, bro. No. If he says Too Slimy again, I'm ending the video.
The Lil Pump of the new era, which we really need.
Too Slimy, don't compare bro. Don't ever compare Too Slimy to Lil Pump.
To give a name, I don't think the Rage era is all that great. Maybe we should call it the post SoundCloud era. Nah, I can't have SoundCloud in the name either. Don't worry, we'll think of something. But anyways, this kid Nettspend looked very similar to Matt Ox when he started to blow up.
Because they're both white, bro. They look similar because they're both the same skin color, bro. I think that's pretty fucking racist.
I mean, not that they look all that similar, but they're both kind of goofy white kids who were rapping about drugs, money, and all of that shit that everybody else talks about. Nettspend would first really start to blow up when he ended up putting out a snippet on Twitter for a song called Drank, where he would dance around with a bunch of money in his bathroom. And of course, this video came across as so goofy that people had to share it around, basically saying this is what happens when hip-hop influences the youth. It is kind of similar to what happened with Maddox, although I don't feel like most people were really making fun of him as much at the time, but in the new era, they definitely were making fun of Nettspend pretty badly. But it kind of played out in his favor because he would get a lot of attention off of that, and there was young
guys, I'm back.
Who were actually interested in his music, and he would start to build a bit of a fan base. Now, unfortunately, right around the time that Nettspend started to blow up, we were in this whole mysterious era where every single artist wanted to be like Cardi, both musically as well as never posting, never making any music, never dropping anything, putting out a snippet and then not actually dropping said snippet. So for a couple years, nobody really knew much about Nettspend besides the fact that he was a white kid who made Cardi type music and that the younger generation really liked him. But after a while, he would start to realize that this whole mysterious gimmick really wasn't working out for him and that people were genuinely starting to forget about him, as well as him being outstreamed by many of his peers, including Two Hollis, another white boy rapper who of course looks very similar to the other two, but I mean, we'll talk about him in a minute. So he would actually start to put his foot on the gas and release music, putting out an album called Early Life Crisis, and I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely...
ELC was a good album, bro. I can't lie, like, I gotta give Nettspend credit as well. I think I would rate ELC like a good 9 out of 10. When I listened to it, I genuinely enjoyed it. Like, the songs were good, the features were good, the beats were fire. He's a good artist. I have to respect the game when I see it.
Definitely a Nettspend hater when he first came out, but this newer music actually is pretty decent. Does it sound a little bit like...
Pretty decent? You might just be chatting.
watered down Cardi music, maybe, but I feel like he puts enough of a spin on it to make it its own thing. That's the thing about this whole rage genre. I know a lot of people compare all of the music together and say that it all sounds the same and that a lot of it is noise pollution, but I feel like every single person who makes rage, unless they're completely copying the wave and don't understand anything about it, puts their own personality into it more than any other style of music. I mean, if you put a little
He's completely right though, you know. He's completely right. These niggas really be putting their heart and soul into their music, bro.
song,
Like me.
Smoke Perp song, and like a Block Boy JB song side by side, and then change the vocal cues so they all sound the same and you can't tell who's who, you're not really gonna hear much of a personality coming through with the lyrics or the vibes. But if you take a Shay song, an Osama-san song, and a Nettspend song and put them all together, there definitely are some pretty big differences. But either way, I'm never gonna convince people who don't.
That would be a nice collab, innit? Osama-san, Che, and Nettspend all on one song. That'd be pretty good.
Don't like the style of music to like it, but yeah, a lot of people really like Nettspend, and he's one of the most popular faces of the new wave. With him, Two Hollis, Jane Remover, and others starting to blow up, all being, of course, white boys and white girl, white trans person, I guess, people would start to talk about how it seemed like white kids were taking over the rap game. Like all of the new modern underground artists were all white, which is very far from the truth. I mean, a chunk of them are definitely white. There's more white kids in the rap game now than there was before because music is more accessible, but I wouldn't say they're taking over by any means. I mean, just because Two Hollis and Nettspend are some of the more popular ones from that era doesn't mean that they're the majority. I mean, like I said, Osama-san, Shay, Skywater, there's multiple black artists, there's Mexican artists with Too Slimy, there's Indian artists with Young Fazo.
I'm giving him one more time to say the word Too Slimy.
Every single race is involved in the underground now. It's not
Don't say Too Slimy again,
simply one or the other, but
or else he's gonna appear in front of my bedroom.
of course, people are going to get upset when it seems like the white boys are more popular than the other guys, seemingly for no other reason than their skin color. But the reason for that is a tried and true method in the rap game that's been going on for years and years. Seeing a white boy rap about being hood or rap about stuff that you usually wouldn't hear from them is both kind of surprising, a little bit eye-catching, and also goofy. I mean, look at people like Slim Jesus. When he first came out rapping about being a gang member, flexing guns, and while kind of looking like a bit of a nerd, a lot of people were very infatuated.
But why does he look like a nerd, bro? Like, why is this goofy? Like, how are they being goofy, bro? Just because they're white, bro. Just because they're white, it doesn't mean they're goofy, bro.
By that image. Some people thought it was fake, some people thought that he actually was a steppa. And while he would later admit that he wasn't actually a gang member and fuck up his whole career, because at the time a lot of people thought that he was appropriating black culture, which I'm not really going to say one way or another. I'm not black, so I can't really speak to that. For a very short moment, he had the rap game in a chokehold, and then after that we got GMEBE Bands. I think that's how you say the name. He was also a white boy who was actually from the streets, made some really good music as well. Unfortunately, he was murdered, so rest in peace.
R.I.P. man.
That he really was in the streets for real. And you don't
Fair
even
enough.
necessarily have to be
Fair
a
enough.
gangster to blow up as a white boy, because we also had Spooky Black back in the day, which of course with the name would imply that he was a black guy who sang R&B. But after he put out a music video where he looked as white as snow and had a do-rag on, a lot of people would of course tune in and pay attention. He was really one of the first people to blow up on World Star Hip Hop. And while there's always going to be accusations that they're appropriating culture and that they're racist in one way or another, it's not necessarily always the intention. I mean, it could be damaging, it could be hurtful to the culture maybe, but at this point the culture is so frayed and all over the place when it comes to hip-hop, and there's so many different people making that music that I feel like, I don't know, maybe there is room for a couple white boys, and a couple white boys we would get. But after Nettspend, Two Hollis, and all these other guys would start to blow up, you would start to see comments of people saying, damn, Maddox really walks so all of these guys can run. Of course, referencing back to when Maddox was the first white boy in the entire rap.
It's true, though. It is true.
I think this is more
Not
of
completely
a joke
wrong.
that eventually became something more, because when
Yeah.
you look at them, they're pretty similar. They're both young kids. They're both young white kids, so you can see a similarity. But Nettspend does not make music like Maddox. I mean, maybe he makes music like Maddox makes nowadays, but he's not making the same stuff that he was making all the way back in like 2017. Besides
But no one's making the same music he made back in 2017, mate.
looks, there's really not a whole lot of comparisons between the two of them, but that wouldn't stop people from saying it over and over again, basically crowning Matt Ox as the modern day king of the white boy era, which honestly, you know, I feel like we can give him that. He deserves it. But Matt Ox would never really speak on this or acknowledge it in any way until very recently when Nettspend ended up dyeing his hair red, of course announcing a new era, the red hair era, I guess. This is the way that rappers do it in the modern day, and honestly have been doing it for a while. I think this probably stems from X having the whole black and blonde hair and then going into the white hair and then the blue hair. Every time I color my hair, I'm in a new era. Just don't have too many eras or you're gonna end up like 6ix9ine. I mean, look at that fucking hairline, bro. Damn. Bro's been tattooing higher and higher up on his scalp since 2018, and at this point I think he's fully given it up. But I'm not gonna make fun of another man for having that issue. I'm only 25. It could definitely happen to me as well, and if it does, well, shit, I'm gonna dye what's left of my hair fucking red as well. Why not? I'll be like Ronald the fucking balding clown out here, and then I'm gonna get dissed by Maddox saying that I'm stealing his style, even though, like, I'm older than you, bro. I can't be stealing your style. I'm the originator. Anyways, Nettspend would claim that the reason that he ended up dyeing his hair red was to pay respects to Kurt Cobain, which I guess had red hair at one point. Not really a big fan of him, but yeah, I guess it makes sense. You gotta pay respect to the GOAT. I feel like being a fan of Kurt Cobain is really one of the biggest LARPs in the modern rap game, and honestly, as far back as the SoundCloud era, I feel like people like...
Yeah, everyone says they like Kurt Cobain. I'm not going to get into other artists, but everyone does say they like Kurt Cobain.
Lil Peep, Lil Tracy, and all these emo rappers came out and said, yeah, I actually like Kurt Cobain. I think Lil Uzi Vert said he was a fan as well, and then all these other rappers who wanted to be emo and kind of hop on the wave were like, yeah, I love Kurt Cobain, I love Nirvana. What song did they make again? And now even these younger guys are doing the same thing. I'm not saying that Nirvana wasn't an extremely popular band, but I feel like most of the people who say that they listened to them like that really didn't listen to them like that. And the only reason they hopped on the wave is because Kurt Cobain...
Man, the clout goggles, man. Do you guys remember these glasses, bro? Fam, I had a pair. I wish I still had them, you know, because I'd actually wear them, bro. Man, I actually might get a pair of clout goggles and wear them for a music video or something. They were legendary, man. They look cool.
Died young, and of course, that creates intrigue. Same way that in about like 5 to 10 years, we're gonna see people saying, yeah, I loved Lil Peep when I was younger. My dad would always play his music. Yeah, I'm a motherfucking schemer man. I'm a beamer boy going crazy with Xanax, man. Yeah, like, nah, I don't think you guys are really listening to him for real. But anyways, it seems like I'm not the only one that thinks that Nettspend may not be telling
I'm in love with a goth girl.
the truth, because Matt Ox also ended up making a post on Instagrams.
I don't listen to Lil Peep for real. I am a Lil Peep fan, not gonna lie, but I need to tap back into some of his shit. It's been a while since I listened to Lil Peep.
Thing. They still stealing swag, Shake My Head, where he would show that he also has red hair. But keep in mind, he never mentioned a name. He never said who he was actually talking about, which was actually a 4D chess move that would really pay off in the long run, because if Nettspend ends up acknowledging him, it means that he is tapped into Maddox and he is paying attention. And Nettspend would fall into his trap, hook, line, and sinker, where he would end up going to a live show and saying to the audience, I didn't even know you dyed your hair red, pussy. Of course,
I saw that.
Maddox.
I saw that.
Although, of course, I guess you could make the same argument that he never said a name, so maybe he's not talking about Maddox, but we all know that he's talking about Maddox. And let's be honest, we know that Matt was talking about Nettspend in the first place as well, but by never saying a name, it kind of did benefit him. Because Maddox was immediately able to rebuttal all of that by saying, I never said no names, y'all made assumptions, must mean I was right. Here's the video right here.
Everybody mad because I said they stealing swag, right? I ain't even say no names, right? And y'all all made assumptions. So it must mean I was right.
Yeah, that really does make Nettspend look like he's a lot more tapped.
But I don't think Nettspend and Maddox were copying each other. Like, I feel like it's just a bit coincidental, bro. They dyed their hair red at the same time. Because I think if Maddox dyed his hair blue, I don't think Nettspend is gonna dye his hair blue next. If he does, that would be crazy. Maybe they're clones. Oh, they are!
Than he's claiming to be. I didn't know about you, Maddox. I didn't know that you dyed your hair red. And I honestly don't think that he dyed his hair red to copy Matt Ox by any means. And it's most likely that a bunch of fans...
But yes, two grown white men, big rappers, beefing over a hair color.
Ended up sending him the post, and he saw himself getting posted on different promo pages and realized what was going on. But you can't claim that you weren't aware of Maddox at all. You definitely knew about him back in the day, and while I don't think you necessarily tried to steal his swag or copy his whole persona, it is possible that maybe Nettspend did. I mean, if you're born a white boy, you can't really do shit about it. It's not like you're really copying a skin tone. He was of course born that way. But either way,
copying his skin color.
Maddox actually ended up looking pretty good in this situation, and most people are taking his side. side. While I don't really agree with older rappers clowning on younger rappers, with them being around the same age, in fact, I think they were born the very same year, this is honestly a beef that I could get pretty invested in. For those of you who were commenting on the last
they're around
video
the same
with
age.
trans beef, saying this is really the state of underground hip-hop right now, and this is the state of beefs, we're really fighting over stupid shit like this. Well, it gets even stupider because now they're fighting over fucking hair dye. But honestly, I'm here for it. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
They're not being mysterious. I'm gonna
Listen, man, I don't mind these two fighting over their hair color, bro. As much as I do think two grown men should not beef about their hair color, you know, where certain people from, or certain rappers, or certain whatever, they're literally going out trying to kill each other. Hopefully, Matt Ox and Nettspend aren't trying to kill each other. Hopefully, it just remains about hair dye. And as long as that's the case and they keep making good music, I'm happy. So
egg them on time and time again, because honestly, if the white boys are fighting, then the entertainment is there. The white boys summer is underway, and I hope that Nettspend does respond to this, but he probably won't, because he's gonna keep continuing that he's above it, that he's bigger than Matt.
Never mind, I was editing and Nettspend dropped a diss track on Snippet dissing Matt Ox. Okay.
But if Matt keeps making music, that if he keeps getting bigger and gets on the same level, it might be
But I hear it. Nettspend didn't even know his hair was red. Like, I actually hear it.
unignorable. And Matt Ox definitely has been taking the chance to capitalize on this by putting out a song called A Wool, where supposedly he disses Nettspend. I didn't really hear much of a specific diss.
I don't know if he knows, but this came out like yesterday. Matt Ox dropped a song called Fuck the Net, and that was most definitely a Nettspend diss.
There, but he's more so talking about how he came up, the life that he lived, how he was the originator. He did mention something about Filthy stop playing with me, they trying to steal my sauce. Once again, not really being specific, but we know that he's talking about Nettspend, and if Two Hollis ended up responding, you know he'd be going at him the same way. And honestly, the song did pretty decent for him. The music video's been out for about 9 days at the time that I'm recording this, and it already has 50k views, and he ended up putting out another one immediately after, which is already at like 10k views at the time that I'm recording this.
Bro, this is what I'm talking about though. Matt Ox is mad consistent, bro, and I like it, bro, because it just shows me that he's doing music for fun, bro. Do you get it? Like, who drops a song 7 days ago and then drops another song 2 days later? I mean, not even. That means he waited 5 days. Who drops a song 5 days after dropping a song? Do you get it? Especially with a music video. Like, he's not doing... Matt Ox is not making music for the money. He's not doing it for the clout. He's just doing it and making music and releasing music because that's just what he does. And I respect it a lot. He is hella consistent, bro. I love it.
So, honestly, pretty impressive. Like I said, I'm here for it. Whether or not Nettspend ends up responding or if they go back and forth, I definitely think that Matt Ox deserves a place in the new modern underground. I think that he's kind of an OG young kid,
He is,
which
man.
is something that we haven't really seen before.
Listen, guys, that Matt Ox, he's still got quite a small name. He's gonna go up. He's already been up. He's gonna do it again, bro.
And honestly, his music is good. The filthy beats are still good, and I think
Yeah.
that he's evolved a lot better than some of his older contemporaries. You can clearly see the dude actually cares about music, and it genuinely is a passion for him, because unlike many of these guys who made a couple hit songs, blew up, got their money, and then kind of fucked off, looking at you, Sofago, Matt Ox continued to create and create, even when
Sofago's still making music, man. I've seen Sofago in a few songs, bro. Sofago's still making music, man. Leave him alone.
the numbers went down, and that goes to show that he just loves making music. So like the comments said, I'm really hoping that people continue to listen to Matt Ox. If you want more of a history on him, I also have a video on my main channel where I talk about his entire career and come up. It's actually kind of fucked up. As soon as I went to go make this video, I was about to sit down and record, like right now as I'm speaking to you. I looked at my phone and all of a sudden I had a copyright, not strike, but copyright claim on my Matt Ox video. Not copyright striking and taking it down, but basically saying I couldn't monetize it anymore because I included a couple seconds of overwhelming. I'm not really sure if that was a bot that did that or somebody from his company who genuinely went to the video and copyrighted it because, well, they're trying to put more money and effort into Matt Ox. Not really sure if it's a coincidence or not, but I'm going to take it as a sign from God that I got to keep promoting Matt Ox because holy shit, good rapper in the modern generation. If you don't like these new kids, you definitely should listen to him. Nettspend is also pretty good. I know I'm never, ever gonna convince anybody who doesn't like Nettspend to get on him.
Bro, Nettspend is nice, man. I like Nettspend too.
But I mean, all of these kids are still pretty young. They have a lot of time to evolve as artists, and they've already had a lot more longevity than most of the people from the prime of the SoundCloud era. I mean, they got what, like 3 years, and these guys got like multiple years. I mean, people like Yeet and Ken Carson have already been popping for like over half a decade at this point, really starting to come up around 2021, and now it's 2026, and they haven't really lost any relevancy besides, you know, Yeet doing that terrible album.
It's true, and Yeet's new album was pretty bad, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think Yeet needs to like create like a new sound, because when he first started making music, his sound was new. But now his new album is like him trying to do an old sound. Instead of trying to do an old sound, you need to really just wipe the slate clean and just start again, bro. But he's cold. Like, his new album was good too, don't get me wrong.
Who would have thought all the way back in
But it just wasn't like his old shit, which is expected.
2017 that Matt Ox would have been one of the rare artists to actually survive the SoundCloud era when everybody else kind of ended up falling off. Okay, not everybody, but most of the main faces ended up falling off or just kind of went on to do different things. Anyways, with that said, that is the white boy beef up to date. Hopefully Two Hollis gets involved. Hopefully Jane Remover also gets involved. Hopefully Skywater gets involved and starts saying, why are you talking about black business?
Skywalker's not even black. I mean, he's not even white.
Bro, even though nobody's talking about anything to do with
And why are you mocking the fucking English accent, you American pussy?
black business. I mean, that's what he's got to do. He's got to become the black business, bro, guy. My bad.
Shut up, you pussy, bro. Fuck nah. Man, I am mocking fucking accents, bro.
My opinion on all of this is super shit. I keep getting comments being like, you don't know anything about the new gen, but I'm Unk, bro. What can I say? Just take my Unk opinion. Shout out Nettspend, shout out Maddox, shout out Knife Gang. Subscribe to the channel. Go to my main channel as well and subscribe, because we're trying to get to 40k before the summer is over. That's my goal. I mean, if I got 50k before the end of the year, that'd be dope. But I mean, 40k, that's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for. And also, I do have a new video on the way very soon where I'm going to be talking about the whole quote-unquote culture war between the old heads and the new generation people. It's not really anything political. It's just about how, you know, the SoundCloud guys are hating on these new gen guys now. So stick around for that.
Guys, one thing, Richh comments on every single video that I watch. So guys, please comment on this Richh video that you're watching. It's free to do.
If you're on either side of the post. And fuck it, after that, maybe I will make a video about all the different goofy little political alliances in the underground if people want to see that. Because I think it's funny how some people put their chest out and pretend that they're on one side, but then are friends with multiple other people who are on the other side. You know? You get what I mean? But anyways, all that said, video's getting too long. I'm just having fun. I'm out here. The summer's on the way. Hope you guys all enjoy. Hope